No, 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 no. Oh, he tried it.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and it wouldn't be Halloween time if we weren't getting offended and banning costumes and ending Halloween celebrations, as if the crippling supply chain issues keeping candy and decorations off the shelf weren't enough. Schools and cities are getting extra woke this year and making sure they are banning things like the pumpkin parade because it marginalizes people. I guess. Seattle school cancels pumpkin parade for marginalizing people of color. School encourage autumnal work and sharing all the cozy feelings of the season. Instead, exactly what about buying a pumpkin is race related? A Halloween themed parade at a school in Seattle has been canceled. School administrators arguing that it marginalizes people of color. Following 5 years of deliberation about the future of the school's annual pumpkin parade, Benjamin Franklin Elementary School decided to end the holiday tradition this year on the advice of the school's racial equity team. The fact that this position exists should tell you something. The pumpkin parade had traditionally featured a procession of elementary students dressed in Halloween costumes. Historically, the pumpkin parade marginalizes students of color who do not celebrate the holiday. What? On what planet is Halloween like a race-specific holiday? When has that ever been a thing? I'm honestly asking, like, I always figured everyone celebrated Halloween. What about, I mean, what? I see decorations out in Milwaukee all the time in the city, like downtown. Everyone has Halloween decorations up. In a place of the pumpkin parade, students may participate in autumnal work. Why am I can't say that word? And thematic units of study about the fall. Ooh, sounds super spooky. Oh wait, you can't actually say that word anymore. According to NPR, the Halloween, what does it mean to call something spooky? That's right. So you're at your friend's elaborately decorated Halloween party. There are cobwebs hanging from the ceiling, bloody handprints on the wall, and a frothing potion brewing on the stove. It's creepy and scary, but is it spooky? Sure, spook can refer to a ghost. It can also refer to a spy. But as many of us know, it's also a slur for black people. That, by the way, nobody has used since the 50s. All right? This is on NPR. This is why I will never donate money to this organization. Nobody refers to black people with that terminology and haven't for 30, 40 years. You're producing this? Like, who sees a spooky ghost and is like, ha, excuse me, sir, are you referring to my African-American neighbor? Or this ghost with candles and knives? I just can't tell. Are you referring to this pumpkin or my POC wife? Excuse me, sir, please don't use spooky around me. This on top of even more nonsense. This is all around the country. This is not just, by the way, in these woke states. East Lansing, Michigan, calls off Halloween and Valentine's Day celebrations over equity concerns. I can't imagine there's ever been a modern conversation, unless they're talking about the amount of equity in your home or equity you have invested in something, that's ever been good when people talk about equity. It's the replacement for equality, where equity is this thing this nebulous thing where, we don't want equality, we want equity. We don't want an equal playing field. We want this playing field that we say is equal now when taking everything else into perspective. East Lansing Public Schools elementary principal sent a joint letter to family Wednesdays announcing there would no longer be Halloween or Valentine's Day celebration in the classroom due to potential distractions and uncomfortable families. Really? Really? Each year, along with the fun of Halloween parties and parades, we also have students whose families do not celebrate or feel comfortable with their children participating in Halloween festivities. We have young children who become overwhelmed and sometimes frightened of the costumes, and others who come to school with no costume at all. In recent years, some families have kept children home or even picked them up early. This sounds like a bunch of, what is it, like tiger helicopter moms? Are you, like, really? You'd mean you can't afford, like, is this some people can't afford Halloween costumes? That's such a cop-out. You can make a Halloween costume out of anything you have laying around your house, and you can make it look good too. All right, so I don't want to hear that you need a bunch of money to have a cool Halloween costume. Speaking of Halloween costumes, 15 offensive Halloween costumes that shouldn't exist. Okay. As a former theater kid, great. I get excited about just about every aspect of Halloween. Dressing up in an elaborate Halloween costume, eating so much candy that I get a sugar headache, and carving a pumpkin and making my partner scoop out the guts for me. What's not to like? This year in particular, a lot of us will probably go even bigger to make up for missing Halloween parties last year. Actually, that's not even going to be possible because you're not going to be able to purchase anything. Now, I'm not sure where this exists. As hard as it is to believe, more than one celebrity has been called up for dressing up as a bad guy from WW2 for Halloween. By the way, there should be 0 rules for costumes on Halloween. 0. 0 rules. Just dressing up as somebody who was the victim of that is just as bad. Now, that is pretty spicy. I don't know that I would, like, the thing is, it's a costume that looks like, WW2 evacuee girl or 1940s girl costume. Anything involving blackface, okay, well, that's probably reasonable. Probably shouldn't, you should probably tell Justin Trudeau. And then we have the third one. So we go from literal victims of what happened in WW2 to blackface to transphobic. Apparently, a tranny granny costume is phobic. Don't dress up like the coof. Yeah, because these people live in fear every single day. Body shaming and objectifying costumes. Like, really? Cultural stereotypes. I mean, this is pretty funny. Like, I'm not sure that, but this is clearly a Disney thing, isn't it? Yeah, Mona or Momo or whatever. Moana, or Pocahontas. Or Terry. Oh, yeah, don't dress up like them. Definitely don't want to dress up as anything spooky. Zombie versions of recently deceased celebrities. No, that is totally acceptable. An eating disorder. Who dresses? I'm not exactly sure how you dress up like a eating disorder, but I don't think that should be banned. I mean, there's all these, like, a homeless person. I mean, come on. Like, where are these people? There's just no fun in their life. There's no, like, intent matters. And if you're dressing your kid up like a hobo, like riding the rails with a can of beans and the sack of, and a sack on their shoulder, those kind of hobos that don't actually exist. Shout out to Stove the Hobo, rest in peace. But, offensive Halloween, parents rank most inappropriate costumes to avoid. Let's see what parents have to say here. Well, okay, anything blackface, anything with the Confederate flag, that's up there, 38%. Well, that's a piece of history. I'm not sure about that. What parents is this? Transphobic costumes, please. Coof-related costumes, stereotypes, overtly spicy costumes. No way. That's like the one thing I look forward to about Halloween. And religious costumes, that's on the list. Who are these losers? There should absolutely be no limits whatsoever on costumes. Okay, you want to argue that, blackface probably, you probably shouldn't do that. I think that that's reasonable. But most of these other things, like, dressing your kid up as Anne Frank, I don't know. Like, sometimes you go so far past something that it gets funny, I don't know. Just try to enjoy Halloween. And by the way, if you have problems, getting your Halloween goods this year, plan ahead, pick up your candy now. The BLM movement is on here. Black Lives Matter costume. A racial justice reckoning in our country is powerful, but that doesn't mean you should turn it into a Halloween costume. Yes, it does. It does, because you should be able to mock whatever you want. The Two Towers costumes, like, I'm not saying they shouldn't do it. They did some nice work on this. They got like Barbies falling out the windows and stuff like that. I'm a fan of grown humor too. Like, I don't have to, it doesn't have to be in great taste for me to kind of, be entertained by it. It's certainly better than, cutting holes out of a sheet and wearing that or something lazy. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy Halloween, and we'll talk to you again real soon.